And 3, 2.
This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
Well, hello there. My name is Ron Ecstasy, and this is Blue Man Group. Special 52nd 1-year anniversary episode featuring my co-hosts, Devin Welsh and John Biedron.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
Good to be back. 52 weeks.
How about that?
52 episodes.
Yeah.
We have brought you, the listener, at this point. If you haven't heard all 52, I recommend going...
Pause right now.
Pause right now.
And go back through the catalog and listen to all of them. It should only take you 52 hours.
Yeah. Or thereabouts. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't remember the first episodes, to be honest, but I remember we agreed that we started to get good around episode 11. So I would just say start at 11 and go from there.
Yeah.
Forget
Forget
the
about
first few
rest.
episodes. Exactly. Should probably be banished from memory. In fact, maybe this shouldn't be our 1 year. Maybe we should... No. We should keep
Listen,
going.
we're going to be celebrating the 1 year for the next year. So welcome, everybody. Take a seat. As you can hear, we've spent a lot of our budget this week on fireworks. Thank you very much to A&P Explosives and Associates for kind of importing some, not necessarily... I don't want to say the legal word, but they're not necessarily that. These are some very highly explosive fireworks from China.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
We're happy to have them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
thank you for buying all of these, Ron. I
You're
understand
welcome.
that you were in a mad scramble the last week
yeah, a little bit,
to get all the festive decorations in place.
little bit. Supply chain. It's difficult to wrap your grips around, but we managed to get these
Yeah.
here. They
You say they're Chinese, but they all have the Costco logo on the side.
Yep. So the idea of celebrating a 1 year anniversary is something we're all familiar with by now. You gather around with your friends, you light a few candles, you put on Blue Men Group. So let's get going. We've got a lot to do. We've got some new stories first, okay? And then near the end, we're going to reminisce over some of the most important stories of the year. You want to stick around. But first, This Week in History.
In 1998, a political body slam in Minnesota.
We've shocked the world. Minnesota leads the way.
Where former pro wrestler Jesse Ventura wins the governor's race in an upset. Today in history, November 3rd, Carlotta Bradley, The Associated Press.
Thank you, Carlotta.
Yeah, thank you, Carlotta.
Thank
That
you,
is not a
Carlotta.
metaphor, by the way. A political body slam.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's-
By none other than the body himself, as he is
Yeah,
also...
Jesse Ventura. Like, okay, so the history
And I
of...
said we said we were going to save our reminiscing for the end of the episode, but I would just like to say one of my favorite episodes was our third-party election special, which we did go over Jesse the Body Ventura
We did.
in depth.
That
And
is
as a
true.
special treat, Ron, actually, I have a special guest for you.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, you may hear that pounding
What?
at the studio door.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
We should probably let him in. Everybody, please welcome to the Blue Men Group studio, Jesse the Body Ventura. Jesse, welcome to the studio. How does it feel to be here?
Bunch of slack-jawed faggots around here.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
jeez.
Did
Jesse,
not-
that's,
Jesse.
not appropriate.
Did not
My
expect
goodness.
that.
Really inappropriate. Welcome, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you for showing up as our guest.
Yeah,
But
that's
also,
weird.
Just-
just let me say,
Would like
it's
to-
none of your
yeah.
business about, what our relationship is or what our sexuality is.
What the three of us do in our private time.
Yeah.
Our relationship between the three of us.
It's my business. The body will find out.
Oh.
All right, Mr. Ventura.
That's
I think
weird.
you're just getting a little too
He's
personal here.
Yeah.
He's smelling Ron.
Yeah, this is how he runs a state. I thought he was...
I feel like there's a wild animal that loose in the studio.
Jesse, please, calm down. Don't say anything further.
Andre the Giant, please tell me, because Jesse the Body's got to know. I got to know all. I was caught totally off base for the first time in my career on this. I've got to know what went on in there, Andre the Giant. What happened to lift your suspension?
All right,
Don't
Mr.
call me-
Giant does not know anything about our personal relationships.
Don't
Andre the
call me
Giant's
Andre the Giant, please.
His name's Devin.
That's not my name.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Anyway,
Man.
he's gone.
Anyways,
We kicked
Mr.
him out.
Ventura,
Yeah.
please leave. Yeah,
He's left. Wow, that was...
Mr. Ventura left in a body bag.
Yeah, absolutely. We beat him up.
Devin
good.
shot him with a gun.
Yeah, we body slammed him.
But that was
Okay,
our.
that was...
That was
That was our special one-year anniversary guest. I feel bad that was
Yeah,
who I
John.
booked for the show.
Why did you invite Jesse?
I didn't realize he
the
was going to be
body?
like that. I didn't think that was his whole shtick.
That
now.
was a fun surprise in a way, but yeah,
Yeah,
it was,
he's changed.
He was cruel.
He's changed.
Yeah.
I thought it was because I think in the third party episode we talked about like that he was cool and stuff, but now he's like,
Yeah,
Now I'm not so sure.
he's definitely changed. He's changed a lot, but yeah, he's from
Yeah.
Minnesota. That's cool. Two things like Minnesota, interesting place, I guess. Land of 10,000 lakes. Now somebody went out and counted all of them, and guess what? Nice round number, 10,000. All
Little
of them
convenient,
inside of
yeah.
the state. And
it's a little aggressive too. It's like putting out that number to discourage other states from saying how many lakes they have.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it should.
Like Starting with
show,
10,000,
don't tell.
it's intimidating.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
like the
it's very intimidating.
the McDonald's 1 million served. What are
Billions, trillions, and trillions.
what are cows handing themselves over to McDonald's? That's a Jerry Seinfeld joke from like the 80s. Okay, so let's.
Oh, well, thank you for including that. In the,
Let's. Yeah, I have to pay him for that. It sucks.
Minnesota, very intimidating state. Its governor also very intimidating.
Yeah, and Prince. Prince is the smallest intimidating person ever.
And you know what Jesse Ventura had to say about Prince? You know what he called him?
I don't want to know.
No.
Yeah.
No.
If it's anything like
All
what he
right.
called us, I mean,
Yeah. Guys who have never worn purple and perms publicly.
Yeah. Okay.
Could only
So, thank you very much, Jesse. No, actually, no, thank you, Jesse. That was This Week in History. All right, so the next segment, my favorite, is called What's in the News. Now, we
What
got
is
some
in the
top
news?
stories. Yeah, what is in the news? We got some top stories here. These are coming across our recently resubscribed news ticker that we get all of the hot electronic press releases from news outlets all over the world sending them to us. We have that. And the first one...
Yeah. They won't
That-
let me look at it, though.
That Devin, no, we don't. John cannot. John has greasy hands, and we don't like when they're all over the machinery.
It makes it hard
So
to read.
I'm wearing latex gloves, and I actually have a story here, very interesting story, a follow up on
hold on,
an earlier.
Devin. That looks like a latex condom, to be honest.
Well, I wear them on each finger, and it sort of covers.
Okay.
But in any case, think back, listener, to an earlier episode. I'm not sure which one, but the Toy Hall of Fame was in the news for announcing their finalists for entry into the Toy Hall of Fame. And as of last Thursday, the Toy Hall of Fame has actually given out its awards, made its choices. The finalists.
way.
Yeah, so we heard about the finalists.
I vaguely remember us sort of backing a horse in that race.
Yeah,
Well-
and I also think I'm pretty sure I said I was emceeing that, or I did MC it, but I don't
I think
remember
you were
any of that.
supposed to, but I think some wires got crossed. But
Yeah.
we not only did we have a favorite when we talked about it, but we worked hard on the campaign behind one of the finalists for the Toy Hall of Fame. And
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we found
So-
a lot of private money that we put behind our horse, so to speak.
Our dark horse.
Yeah, and so our hard work paid off. You know, we greased the right skids, and I'm happy to present that American
go.
Girl dolls,
Yes.
Risk,
Okay.
and Sand,
Sand,
have officially
yes.
made it to the Toy Hall of Fame. So Sand,
Let's go.
That was our one. We did
that
it.
we put everything behind Sand.
Yeah.
American Girl dolls and the strategy board game Risk were inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame on Thursday in recognition of their influence on the toy industry. Sand, which the group called perhaps the most universal and oldest toy in the world, was also inducted. And that was
Yes.
what we were saying all along about it, you know, that
Yes, it's the oldest toy.
it's very universal and very
And it's
old.
everywhere.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, Risk
my
and American Girl
shoes.
dolls don't even deserve to be in the same, publicity statement.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought Risk should have, like, how is that not in there already?
How is
Did-
Sand not in
did it-
there already?
Well, I know, but Sand.
Yeah,
Sand
that should
is
have
a-
been the inaugural,
Yeah.
one of the inaugural choices.
It should have been
You guys-
sand, sticks, and balls,
Yeah, and rocks.
you make a
and
good
fire.
and your own genitals.
Absolutely. And but just to refresh the listeners, the finalists, the losers that were the finalists, but they didn't make it through this time: Battleship, Settlers of Catan, Mahjong, and Billiards, as well as Cabbage Patch Kids, Masters of the Universe, Fisher-Price Corn Popper, the Toy Fire Engine, and the Pinata. Pinata still not in.
Yeah,
Didn't make it.
Crazy.
like that's what I'm saying. Like, some of these things that didn't make it, is it because of, prior something that they did beforehand? Has Pinatas done something that we don't know about, and they've got like they're blackballed or whatever it's called, blacklisted?
Blacklisted.
So
Possibly.
the Hall of Fame had this to say. Let's read this out because this will be fun.
Please.
What they had to say in
Yeah.
honor of Sand.
Okay.
They said that they honored Sand for its opportunities for tactical, physical, cooperative, creative, and independent free play. Children recognize sand as a creative material suitable for pouring, scooping, sieving, raking, and measuring, it said. Wet sand is even better, ready for kids to construct, shape, and sculpt, although some playthings can only be found online or in certain stores. Sand has a global reach that most toy manufacturers would envy. Chief Curator Christopher Bench said, "It's been a vehicle for play since prehistory, and anyone who has spent the day at the beach can understand the allure of this toy."
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. It is truly a universal, global toy.
And it is a toy.
Not so sure about the board editorializing. They're saying that wet sand is better.
Yeah. I think,
but-
But
Devin,
in any
that-
case,
So
That-
we spent a lot of our I'm remembering correctly now that we did spend a lot of energy and money and of our own
Yes.
personal connections and resources.
good for you to
to
remember
ensure that
Don.
Sand would be the winner. I know I'm
Well, now
a
I'm.
crazy year. But so
Silly
what
year.
are we going to get out of this? Because Sand won.
Yeah.
Well,
So what
we
do
get
did we make any bets, or are we
We
part
get
of
free
the Sand
passes.
commission now?
I know we get free passes to the Toy
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
I think
Are we not
gonna,
getting positions on the Sand chief of staff? Or
We're going to be we're going to be on the calls about what types of sand they're bringing in, how it's going to be used. They want our input. I don't think we'll have an official position, but
Yeah.
So this is sort of like a black tie thing, where it's like we're part of like the society behind
Yeah.
toys.
yeah. We're
I
like
think
pulling the
people know.
strings behind the scenes.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we
I
are
think-
getting a little more power.
Yeah, I
That's
think
good.
people know. I mean, like that thing that Devin just read about the whole, like, why sand is great.
Because you can do so many things with it.
Yeah,
Not so sure about
Devin
raking
wrote
being
that.
a
Devin
a
wrote
toy.
that. Just
Raking
letting you
sand
know.
doesn't sound exactly fun.
I mean,
Yes,
I've
I
done
wrote
it.
the speech for Christopher Bench.
Exactly. some of our work is out there. That's all we'll say, I guess. I think that
It's all we can say for now.
Yeah, there's some competing podcasts. I'll just say this. There's some very niche podcasts about the toy industry. And they are saying some things about some of the shadow work that we were doing in this pushing sand towards the top of the list. And let's just say that we hear what they're saying and we want none of it because listen, what we did was legal. And if you have anything to say about this, contact Christopher Bench. He can explain everything. He knows everything. He's got more info than you need. He's got folders, tons of them, filled with tiny grains of sand.
We put him in charge, and he's going to take care of it. So
yes,
yeah.
So that's.
But anyway, that's a wonderful story to hear. Our work paid off. It's a story sort of about us in a way, but also about sand and about toys.
Well, and it's just a testament to our journalism.
Yes.
I don't think sand would have gotten it if it wasn't for our coverage, for our analysis, for our sort of like ability to see ahead and sort of like see the moment for sand and call it. Because I think a lot of people were looking over sand.
Looking elsewhere, yeah. Cabbage Patch Kids was a big favorite among certain people.
Yeah, and they had some dark money behind them too. But
absolutely.
I just want to say that with the extra money that we did receive from our generous donors, we are now putting into a research fund that is officially named the Sand Future Generation Research Fund. And they will be engaging in an
Institute of Sand Technologies.
Yeah, thank you very much, John. And they will be doing some very important research on sand. And I'm very happy to announce their first project. They will be counting every grain of sand in the world. And we are finally going to get a definitive count on how many grains of sand there are.
I'm so excited.
That is a mystery too long left lingering.
And you know what? I'm so tired of these smug assholes who keep saying that counting stars is the first toy.
Come on.
It's clearly sand.
That's nonsense. That's not a toy. Sand you can touch. Stars, no.
Counting stars, I don't care how many of them there are, damn it.
Yeah.
It's not as many as sand.
That's right. See, that's the kind of passion that we bring to our project. So, Devin, thank you so much for that report on sand. It's in my shoes. It's in my butt crack. It's in my car.
It's also in the hourglass, which is slowly sifting.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, and the interest of making sure that we can beat death and go a little faster here, I have a story.
John, that sounds great. What do you got, bud?
Now, so far we've been talking about some stories that relate to some older stories that we've covered. This one is pretty new. I don't think we can connect this to anything else. Extreme Couponing Criminal Edition.
What?
Virginia Beach woman sentenced to prison for $31.8 million worth of coupon fraud.
Holy shit.
What's our source here, John? Where are we reading this?
Yeah, where are you getting this information from, John?
This article comes from a trusted news source, www.fbi.gov/news.
Yeah,
/stories/woman.
Wow, so this is straight from the source.
To prison.
It's kind of cut out the middleman, Instead of getting it from, another news source, we go straight to the FBI.
Yeah, female body inspectors.
Yeah. No, that's not what... But anyways, so the first time, the Coupon Information Corporation... Hell, that's the first time I'm hearing about this. Called Postal Inspector Jason Thomason with a tip about a Virginia Beach resident who they believed was making and mailing counterfeit coupons.
No way.
The center didn't yet have a sense of the fraud's scale. Without a loss amount, Thomason didn't think he'd gather support for an investigation. So this is sort of, your classic FBI Boy Scout.
Yeah.
Looking into this case,
coupons,
his superiors are thinking coupons.
Then they spent 3 days being like, is it coupons or coupons?
Yeah, that was a big part of the story. Actually, let me go over. I'm going to skip a lot of this, which is about how to pronounce coupon.
3 days.
A few months later, a few months later, this topic was brought up. The CIC, Coupon Information Corporation, an association of manufacturers that track coupon fraud, called back to say they had linked over $125,000 in fakes to the suspected counterfeiter. At that point, Thomason started asking around FBI's Norfolk office, where he works as a task force officer, as a partner on the investigation. Special Agent Shannon Brill was intrigued. It was a different type of case, she said, and the pair went to work.
Wow. So we've got this odd couple team that pairs up and decides to get to the bottom of this clearly serious fraud case.
Yeah, it's sort of like an X-Files situation. One of them has never used coupons before to save money, and the other one is a religious coupon fanatic.
Yeah.
Last month, the counterfeit coupon maker was sentenced to more than 12 years in prison.
Holy shit.
And ordered to pay nearly $32 million in restitution to retailers and manufacturers who suffered losses in her scheme.
Then she arrives to the judge, and then she gives the judge a coupon for like 8 years.
Yeah. Also, and then a separate coupon. It's a BOGO. And it's actually
they drive and they're like, "Fuck, these are legit."
Seem legit. Yeah, and so she only owes $6 million now.
So the question that I have is, okay, so
that coupons seems like a huge amount of money, right?
Yeah, like what can you get out of it? Do you get like an extra case of soda? Like what?
Yeah,
what's in it?
Do you think that $31.8 million is a bit overblown?
No, not at all.
Go ahead and say yes first.
Yes.
I mean, yes, of course.
You're completely wrong, you idiot. Because that's a conservative estimate.
Oh, jeez.
From what Lori Ann Talons, 41, and her group of criminal couponers were able to steal.
Wow.
Criminal couponers.
For anyone who has casually clipped coupons for $1.50 off shampoo or cat litter, it's hard to comprehend how fake coupons could add up to those staggering figures.
That's
Maybe
what I'm
for
saying.
Simple, feeble-minded podcast hosts, you could never connect those kinds of dots.
But
Brill and Thomason said it came down to the volume of coupons Talons created and her ability to create fakes that offered deep discounts off of goods.
I wonder what her setup was.
She's using
like a
coupon doesn't make things free. You still have to pay.
She had like she had a dumpy computer that ran on like Windows 95 and then
an
would print inkjet
from
printer
2008. Yeah,
printing them off. Boom.
So she trained herself in the different techniques she needed to manipulate barcodes to make these coupons work. So this is a sort of catch me if you can situation.
Seriously,
yeah, wow, this was like
barcode
work.
edition.
Yeah. Okay.
Talents had a background in marketing and strong computer design skills. Brill and Thomason said she was able to create a coupon for almost any grocery or drugstore product.
Wow.
And to make it for whatever value off she wanted.
Often
the discount was near or even over the retail value of the item. So she's getting paid.
Amazing.
The difference.
The people at the cashier, it's like, I guess I've got to give you $5 for.
Who are these rubes who
look
are
at this
working
one.
the counter
It
at
says
the pharmacy who's going, "Oh, I'm sorry, I need to give you some money out of my register because this coupon here that you have, which is printed on Lexmark or like Office Depot paper, so there's nothing on the back side."
The article says she had coupons for $24.99 off a $25 box of diapers, and it would work, said Thomason, and you'd have people walking out the door with those diapers for almost nothing.
Nothing, but that 1 penny.
So you pay a penny, and then what do you do with the diapers? Is there a secondary market here?
You put them on.
Devin, I'm glad you asked that question, because the answer is yes. There is a secondary market for diapers, and I've become recently acquainted with it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, a lot of people won't tell you this, but when you become a new parent, diapers are very expensive. We have alluded to this in other episodes, did leave Bmg Group for a time for various unstated reasons. I think there were a couple ideas floated.
Unpaid
it was
leave.
to have a child. I did have a love child with the scion of the Lindbergh family. I had an illicit affair with one of the heirs of the Lindbergh estate, and
the Lindbergh baby.
And you've set up Bmg Group in such a beautiful way. From what you've done, John, we thank you so much.
You're very welcome. But I couldn't spare any extra change for diapers, so I did end up on the secondhand diaper market, where diapers go for $12, instead of $25.
And you developed a wonderful relationship with Lori Ann Talons, who provided.
Well, hold on. No, there's no connections between myself and Lori Ann Talon.
Okay,
are you talking about
that very clearly?
Used diapers? You buy used diapers for cheaper?
Some of them are used, yes,
Gross.
but most of them are fine.
You're gross.
Anyways, the investigators said the store cashiers are not asked to question the coupons customers are using. That's not their job, said Brill.
That's true.
If the coupon's scanned correctly, the store would honor it, she explained.
Wow, that's
someone has to eat
interesting.
those losses.
I'll eat
It
'em.
ultimately funnels down to us, the consumers. I know personally that I've lost a lot of money since the story broke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
I personally,
and I
as a
think
consumer, was affected.
I blame her. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, let's see where we go. The coupons are rejected if they're counterfeit, then the retailer doesn't get paid back for them, said Brill. But that whole process takes a lot of time. By the time a coupon gets identified as being fraudulent or fake, that coupon has already been used who knows how many times. Well, typically they take the coupon from you.
Right.
So you're not reusing it.
And yeah, so this article wants us to be very, very afraid of coupon
And
fraud.
vigilant.
Yeah.
This
And the
all of
ways
these-
in which it
all
could
of these-
lead to the dissolution of the American family.
Yeah.
Yeah, the American economy seems to be plagued with a lot of sort of trumped-up couponing fraud charges. All of these
Yeah.
details seem to be sort of all leading into this like overestimation of $32 million in coupon fraud.
Yeah. I think the FBI lost $32 million and they need something. So they spotted some coupon fraud.
Here's where the money comes. Talon's not only regularly used her own coupons, but she sold them to a large group of subscribers who found her through social media groups. Using an encrypted
Oh my God.
app to communicate with her customers. She
Yep.
only allowed in new members if they were referred by an existing member of the group. Very good practice.
Exactly. Yep.
Each
Yes.
new member had to send a copy of their ID and provide
Yeah.
evidence that they had used counterfeit coupons before, a way of
did
making
that.
sure her buyers accepted some amount of risk in the scheme.
Oh, whoops.
So she
Talent-
was sort of like a
yeah.
cocaine dealer, and she's like, "You have to do this bump in front of me
Yeah,
to prove
exactly.
you're not a cop.
They do
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Show me that
Talon's
you'll show me that you'll use an illicit coupon. On, 2-for-1 at
Show me
Crate
that
and
you'll,
Barrel."
that you'll get 50% off at Walgreens.
Yeah. Over 3 years, Talons was paid $400,000 by her subscribers. Again, not getting anywhere near $32 million.
Yeah.
The agents
No.
credit a diligent FBI forensic accountant for painstakingly tracing thousands of transactions. With the profits, she paid for high-end home renovations, including a new kitchen, a sunroom, and an in-ground swimming pool, which is, of course, the most expensive kind of swimming pool.
Yeah.
Well, and also she's working very hard. Like, doesn't she deserve like a little, relaxation?
Yeah. I mean, if she had categorized these coupons as NFTs, would this be illegal?
Yeah.
No.
Probably not.
Thank you. Investigators
go.
said that when they served the search warrant, they found fake coupons worth more than $1 million in every crevice of her house.
Holy shit. And
You
her-
can imagine she's selling a lot of these coupons to tally up that $32 million. Quote from the FBI agent, "There were coupons in every jacket pocket. They were stuffed in her vehicles. They also found
Reminds-
designs on Talon's computer that allowed her to create coupons for more than 13,000 products."
Sounds like a Dr. Seuss thing. It's like there were coupons in pockets and schmockets and lockets.
Just spilling out of it. They open a filing cabinet and there's just like a
Oh my
million
God.
coupons for an Arby's Big Beef and Cheddar.
There were, yeah. There were coupons in Frandamblers and Zamblers and Scamblers.
Anyways, so it looks like this Talons woman is going to jail for a long, long time, and I couldn't be more happy to hear about it. Mark.
Yeah, I think they should drop the charges on Talons
Free Talons.
and some of the people who may have been in her groups.
Again, you will not find any connection to me with Talons or any of her associates.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, John. That was
And those diapers have been destroyed.
okay. Well, thank you.
Good.
That's very nice of you, and thank you very much for reading that press release from the FBI about coupon fraud. Listeners, please be on the lookout for coupons that you think are fraudulent or faulty. I want vigilance. I want people looking I want you to go to your optometrist and get your prescription fixed, because I need you to be seeing everything.
Really, America's Most Wanted really fell off.
It did.
They really are scraping the barrel at this point. What are they on, season 73 now? This
Yeah.
is what they've got? This is the top case
Yeah.
in the FBI?
Yeah.
Coupon
Well,
fraudsters.
That's
Yeah.
how they do it. So thank you very much, John, for that report from the fraud desk. Now,
Thank you. It's nice to have a connection to the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
yeah. It's now my turn to walk over to my desk and now I'm here. And those were my foot. I galloped.
Quick little.
And now I'm sitting down.
I galloped 3 steps over to a desk with horseshoes on.
His cloven foot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got a headline here from the New York Post.
Oh, great.
Spain's disgraced former king was injected with female hormones to curb his sex drive.
All right, hold up. Former disgraced former king.
Former disgraced and former were the first things that popped out.
Those are 2 big things
Huge.
for a king to be.
Yeah, and I don't know shit about this guy. So, Spain's former king Juan Carlos
The first.
was injected with female hormones as his rampant sex drive was a danger to the state, the country's most infamous police chief has claimed.
All right, I'm going to
Wow.
go ahead and stop this article right here.
Mm-hmm.
Typically a king's sort of over-engorged sex drive is usually a plus for the country. Right?
Yeah, that's
Isn't
such
it
a
like
good
the
point.
job of the king to sire, to have issues?
Yeah.
it's
That's
getting-
like literally his most important duty, in fact.
Yeah, but it's getting in the way of his other things that apparently he has to do, I guess. So, ex-police commissioner
Spain has really changed.
Jose Manuel Villarejo, who John in the FBI probably knows him, who was on trial for blackmail and corruption, claimed the disgraced former head of state was given the drugs by the Spanish Secret Service to lower his libido.
Okay, hold on. There's so many like motives and parties in the story, and we're only 2 sentences in.
Spain.
The ex-police commissioner who's on trial for crimes,
blackmail and
claimed
corruption.
that the disgraced former head of the state was given drugs by the Secret Service.
Yeah, it's a lot of finger pointing here.
Yeah.
A lot of intrigue here from what seems to be a very reputable source.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so the 70-year-old alleged that Juan Carlos was injected with, okay, they've said this 3 times already, female hormones and testosterone inhibitors.
It sounds like the 70-year-old former investigator is jealous of the king's ability to have sex.
The fact that it keeps being brought up.
He can get it up, yeah.
Yeah. He told a parliamentary hearing that it became a problem for the state that he was such an ardently passionate person, the Times reported.
I'm sorry, this is Spain. This
Members,
is the land of passion.
And he's not even saying he's overly passionate. It's like, what do you mean? Is that even
It's
possible?
a euphemism.
Ardently.
Is that a legal euphemism?
He's ardently passionate. Yeah, he's I mean the siesta, right? They do the siesta apparently. They take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Look what happens when you get a little bit more rest.
Yeah,
the
you
heads
turn
of
into
state.
a wild animal. Yeah.
Yeah.
You become ardently passionate. So, members of parliament gasped and sniggered as the allegations, while another suggested they resembled the storyline of the latest James Bond film.
Our sources indicate that no one in Spain has received or seen the latest James Bond
Yeah.
film. And that plot
Yeah.
resembles nothing.
I haven't
God.
heard of like
Close
a James
to.
Bond movie where he gets injected with female hormones.
No.
Although
I'd love to
it
see
seems
it.
like that
That
might
would
be
be
the next
great.
one. Yeah.
Villarejo claimed that former National Intelligence Center, CNI,
Center spelled TRE.
boss and close ally of the ex-monarch, Felix Sanz Roldan, was behind the alleged idea. But Roldan denied he played any role in administering the hormones, saying he had only learned about it when Juan Carlos's former mistress, Corinna zu Zion Wittgenstein, had told him. Okay. She was recorded by Villarejo in 2016 saying people in the royal entourage gave Juan Carlos a lot of female hormones to take away his strength. It seems like
Man.
everybody's saying it, though.
Yeah.
What a bad scene when your entourage is like dosing your drink with like hormones.
Ron, you're definitely correct that everyone's been saying this.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about this.
You're like, it's on everyone's mind. It's coming up in
I've
recordings
heard
and
it
stuff.
from many
Okay.
people, yeah.
Okay,
Wait,
so yeah.
Juan Carlos' former mistress, Corinna zu Wittgenstein.
I know.
Yeah, what is
Austrian?
who is this?
An inheritor of the Wittgenstein
It's a
philosophical mantle?
she's a a German-born Danish entrepreneur. Her real name is Karina Zuzain Wittgenstein Sein. She was born in Frankfurt, Germany. And
Okay.
yeah,
But
So
back
did she
to
marry?
the discreet
back
king.
to this.
Okay,
But
yeah,
she
sorry. Let's go back
she
to
has the info about
Yeah.
Juan Carlos getting injected. So they have taken everything from him. He could not be with a woman or anything, the businesswoman who had an
Or
affair with
anything.
him from
Not his
2004
hand,
to 2009
Not a smutty film.
during his kingship.
Not an
Sein-
armchair.
So Sein Wittgenstein also claimed that a French doctor had verified this by inspecting his medication, as well as saying that he was given excessive sleeping pills after a 2011 operation. Ex-Secret Service boss Villarejo claimed medical reports showed there were traces of testosterone inhibitors after the operation. Juan Carlos's former lover is embroiled in a legal battle with him and Spain's CNI amid a money laundering case in Switzerland, and are claiming she was illegally put under surveillance. This sounds like a board
Den
game.
of Vipers.
Yeah,
Spain
this-
is.
Okay, I'm starting to see the James Bond stuff now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get
I'm
it.
starting to see it.
Yeah. Okay, so courts are investigating whether Sein Wittgenstein was given cash after her lover allegedly earned a secret commission for helping to win a $6 billion Saudi rail deal.
Oh, a
Every
rail
sentence-
deal.
Yeah.
Every sentence
So-
adds a new wrinkle.
I know.
Yeah.
There's so many twists.
He is facing another 2 separate criminal probes in Spain, but he fled the country after being embroiled in multiple corruption scandals. One is regarding the use of credit cards linked to foreign accounts after his June 2014 abdication, when he lost his constitutional protection against prosecution as a serving monarch. The other one was
man.
coupon fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah, prosecutors are trying to establish the former king accessed funds deposited in accounts held by a Mexican businessman and a Spanish Air Force official. The scandal hit King is widely admired for steering Spain from the tyranny of dictatorship under General Franco to democracy when he took over in 1975.
Wait, I'm sorry. How does a king taking over lead?
Yeah,
democracy?
in democracy, I didn't get that. Okay, but he was faced growing criticism
That
both
was the
towards
criticism.
both towards the end of his reign and his role as next king. He was recently forced to deny he was seriously ill after pictures of him looking frail began circulating as he remains at his hideaway in the Middle East. The
Okay, that's
shocking
not a good sign.
allegations, the shocking allegations regarding Juan Carlos's libido come during Villarejo's trial, which began this month. The 70-year-old is accused of secretly recording conversations with a network of the country's rich and powerful figures, dubbed the sewers of the state.
Damn.
Nice. What a messy situation. I'm glad I had
Yeah.
nothing to do with that.
I know. I would never do anything like that, personally.
Um,
In fact,
no.
I have to say, around the studio, you guys may have noticed you've had a little more energy lately. Mm-hmm. I've been putting testosterone in your morning coffee.
Oh, that's
trying to
what
raise
made
you
me
guys
feel
up.
so good, John.
Yeah, I want to make you guys into Spanish kings.
I love the taste. I think
And I
that
feel
taste-
like a king.
I think that's beautiful.
I hear 'em
anywho-
all. Everybody wants
Oh,
to
no.
know. Jesse,
get out of here.
Oh, Jesse, no.
They know, Mean Gene, that I date and take out some of the most beautiful women in the world.
Okay, I don't-
Jesse, I agree. Me too, since the testosterone. But
Yeah.
hey, buddy, back off.
So this is absolutely insane. Juan Carlos, the Lady Wittgenstein, all insane. The king is is he still
I would
alive?
like to,
So he's
I would like
must
to
be
take
still
this Lady Wittgenstein's claims about the king and deconstruct them.
Nice. But I would also like to add just briefly that Dev, I heard you say that you're happy you'll never be involved in something like this.
Yeah.
Part of the bringing Abby into the show, Abby Fiscus, was her work with PricewaterhouseCoopers, and part of that agreement that I signed involved us a little bit with that Saudi rail deal. So we're going to
Oh, I
have to just I don't know, hush hush or.
Yeah, well, as long as we can keep our hands clean, I don't think we have anything to worry about.
Okay, cool. John,
Did I get implicated in that? Because I was gone.
No, I think you're fine.
I did give Ron power of attorney while I was gone. But
John, we'll talk after class. So yeah, that's some crazy stuff right there from the Wittgenstein family and the Carlos family, Villarejos, all of Spain. I'm actually
Spanish nobility.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm going to keep a close eye on that trial. It seems absolutely insane.
Loco.
So before we end, we want to do a little celebration.
I know it seems like it's the end of the episode because it's been 35 minutes.
It's only been 35 minutes. Wow,
John, we don't talk about how long it's been in the middle of the show.
No, that's very unprofessional. But what is professional is recapping a year of podcast episodes.
Yeah, so we have been doing this lovely show, and we could not do it without the listeners all over the world. It's a global podcast, and there's a few stories that we would like to recap and reminisce about. So why don't you join us? This is Stories of the Year.
So yeah, there were so many important stories this year that we covered. Important figures, kind of important people for history, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just reminds me of how time is moving forward, and we're all just little parts of this story. And I think about people like Peep the Towel, who is not a person at all. Peep was a chicken, who we covered.
Peep was a chicken.
It was a lost.
Peep was his name.
It was a
Peep
lost
was his name.
chicken in the Cracker Barrel parking lot. And it was later found by its owner, who was a young, theatrical Civil War reenactor and possibly a racist. And we spoke with him on the phone while he was in...
Because he was on the side of the Confederacy.
Yeah, and he really liked the Confederacy. And he seemed to know a lot about it. And I hope he's still listening.
He had a sea shanty podcast.
Yeah, he had a sea shanty podcast.
We spoke to him while he was in study hall.
He was in study
hall.
And
absolutely.
There was a gaggle of giggling girls nearby.
Yeah, but Peep the Towel, I guess there's some new news on Peep the Towel.
Dead.
Ron?
Peep the Towel's dead.
He's dead. Folks, we're here to report for the first time, with heavy hearts, that Peep the Towel has died.
Do not forget that the owner of Peep the Towel said that. Remember, this is a chicken. So he said that this chicken that he would carry around would drink rum on the beach and smoke cigarettes and potentially weed.
It was heavily implied that the chicken was smoking weed.
This fucking chicken was getting shit-faced nightly. So
so it's no surprise that Peep the Towel came to an early end. But I just want to say one thing. A lot of the news outlets covered Peep the Towel when it went a little viral at a certain point. And that's how we found out about Peep the Towel. They moved on, right? And so no one's going to be covering Peep the Towel's death. No one's going to be saying rest in peace, in memoriam. But at Blue Man Group, we follow up on our stories, and we care about these people and these animals that we talk about here.
Yeah, they're doing it for the clicks. We have no idea why we're doing it, but that's why we're here. So there was other stories. We had do you remember the old lady lobster woman?
Before we move on,
first we got to say two things about Peep. One, Ron, to bolster your claim that the owner of Peep the Towel may have been racist.
Yeah.
He seemed to have memorialized Peep the Towel by saying, "Peep has passed away till Valhalla, Peep," which is referencing the afterlife for Nordic warriors, which is often being used by role-playing white supremacists on the internet. And also, Peep the Towel's Instagram has left behind a picture of Peep's legacy, which are eggs.
Oh, Peep. Peep is passing on. He's passing on, but he's also passed on a new generation.
Yeah.
Of little Peeps.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
little
great to
Peep.
hear.
One of them.
Yeah, little Peep.
Little Peep. But let's say just a quick 2-second moment of silence for Little Peep. I mean, Peep the Towel.
Peep the Towel.
And Little Peep.
4 seconds?
Yeah, let's roll them together.
Is that 4 seconds?
2 seconds.
Who gets
one for each.
1 second each. Okay.
Okay, we're done.
Okay, we're done. Okay, so moving on.
Yeah, the old lady lobster woman. Yes, another favorite.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. This
Wow.
was one of our most talked about episodes.
She knew some of the lobsters from high school because they're both so old. You know, aren't lobsters
absolutely.
like incredibly old?
But the old lady lobster woman and her very old sons, one of which
Extremely old sons.
seems to live with her and work with her on the boat. And
Her extremely
Yes.
old and
she was
wet
in her
sons.
80s or 90s. Her son was in his 70s, and he was still full-time employed by his mother.
And extremely
being pushed around by her.
wet all the
And
time.
yes, he apparently did not have a lot of his own agency on the boat. Because it's tough on maritime. You know, you're out on the ocean. You have to follow the captain's orders.
Yeah.
And if that captain is your mom,
Yeah.
yeah.
you know,
And
what
she
are you
was like
gonna do?
103 or something like that.
So
Well, in a
it's
Blue
like
Man
you
Group-
die, everyone.
A Blue Man Group hunch, uncorroborated, but we put out hunches from time to time. The old lady lobster woman is immortal,
Yep.
and perhaps her sons are as well, but
Yes.
we don't have any facts on that yet.
Yes.
Another great story:
yeah.
Bigfoot hunting season.
I think
Yes,
that was like
where was this?
Oklahoma, I think.
Something like that.
I think it was Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and it was like a state senator or representative who wanted to pass a bill saying that you could it's open season
Legally
for Bigfoot.
hunt Bigfoot.
And then, strangely
We're
enough,
gonna get
there
to the
was
bottom of this, folks.
there was a Bigfoot conference nearby in the
in
same
his-
state.
Featuring
In his district or
very
something.
nearby. Yes, the same district, and featuring, and on the website we looked it up. One of the attractions, Bigfoot costumes and a Bigfoot lookalike contest.
So this guy was
Next
going
to
to open
Bigfoot
fire.
hunting grounds.
Oh my
They're
God.
hunting. They're hunting people, folks.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
but we sadly could.
but then
not
of course it
join
was
in.
canceled. Yeah, because of
COVID.
COVID-19.
COVID. And
Of
a
course,
Bigfoot costume does not count as a mask. Just remember that.
Yeah.
No, the Bmg Cruise, which we legally cannot discuss, but we wanted to mention because that was an important news story both on this show and unfortunately syndicated around the globe.
Yeah, and also
In
yeah,
legal journals, maritime law papers.
yeah. There's a lot of stuff.
There was a
there.
lot of coverage.
There's a lot of stuff there, but yeah, we're
would
allowed
like to reiterate that we may or may not have been on the boat at the time of the crash. We do not know how many people died, and we will not say how many tickets we sold.
And we
Yeah.
don't want to know how many people died, to be
No.
honest, because it's none of our
It
business.
would really
I know.
bum us out. Also.
It would, yeah, and
What do you want us to do?
we did lose the itinerary or the everybody on the plane and stuff, or I mean the boat, and
Don't talk about the plane.
I know.
Yeah,
They don't even know about
mention
the plane.
the
Shut
plane.
up.
No, yeah. So we're not really allowed to talk about anything about that, but we can infer.
It wasn't, but and
We
it
can
was also. I
infer
would like to
things.
say, the BMG Cruise, despite all of the black eyes and bruisings we took on it, massive success.
It was.
Yeah,
It
for
was.
us.
And it
It
was
was
one of the
great for
greatest
us.
stories of the year. I think a lot
Yeah.
of people would see it that way.
Yeah, it was huge
Absolutely.
for us. We improved our listenership. I mean, or thinned out the herd or whatever. I don't know what you call it. But
We strengthened.
We strengthened the remaining listeners. We strengthened their resolve.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But another important story that we followed up on a few different times was the ongoing Olympic crisis, specifically pertaining to sex and alcohol.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
remember the Tokyo Olympics featured a sort of
yeah.
condom crisis.
Yeah, I was there.
Mhm. Yeah, Blue Man Group debuted in an Olympic year.
Yep.
Making us Olympic warriors for all time. Part of the Olympics
Absolutely.
career.
Yeah.
And
that
yeah,
was
there were
intentional,
multiple
by the way.
crises at the Olympic Village because of COVID-19.
Yeah, they
In Tokyo.
they really didn't want athletes having sex because of COVID, and they started building cardboard beds, I believe, for the athletes for the exact people you want fucking
To make them
beautiful-
less sexually
likely to fuck. But
aroused.
this was also that was after they decided that they were going to do two things.
What?
They were going to keep alcohol permissible for the Olympic athletes, and they were going to ban condoms
Yes.
at Olympic Village.
Yeah, and guess what? There were Japanese companies, because they happened in Tokyo, Japanese companies who perfected ultra-thin condom technology.
Yeah.
And before
otherwise
COVID...
known as
What?
the baggy fit condom.
Baggy fit for me. And then before COVID happened, they opened up, let's just say, billion-dollar facilities to make these high-tech, ultra-thin condoms for the Olympics. Guess what? COVID-19 happens, they can't do it. And then the Olympic Committee says, by the way, no condoms for anyone.
Yeah. Which led to what will become a developing story in about, a couple more months, and then probably for the next 18 years, a new crop of superhumans bred out of the Olympic Village by the top athletes of the world.
I can't wait.
Bulgarians mixing with Salvadorians,
Absolutely. The new global people, which are our people because we are a global news podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, the global athletic Ubermensch.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. We support it.
Yeah.
Another story.
We may think of a different name, actually.
Maybe Superman.
If the shoe fits.
Another important story that we covered in detail was Bruce Springsteen's alleged DUI after his Super Bowl ad featuring him driving erratically through the countryside.
I remember.
Yeah. On a car with no doors.
Well,
he was wearing fingerless gloves, and the windows were down, and it was cold. It was winter.
So the story was he was just fucking
implying
driving
that he was warming himself with hard alcohol.
Booze.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he was riding around in his automobile, and then in a state park, I believe, for some ungodly.
He was on a motorcycle.
No, I don't think. Was he? Okay, so
he was driving his motorcycle around. He was bar hopping, and he was doing shots of tequila.
Yeah,
with,
he did
fans,
shots of tequila with fans.
Saboteurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, saboteurs.
And
exactly.
then he hops into his vehicle,
One
moseys
leg
on down the
over
road.
His hog. He swings his leg over his hog.
Swerving.
Revs up his deuce in the middle of the night.
Nice. Yeah. He's swerving everywhere.
He's going crazy with his front axle.
He's shooting pebbles everywhere, and there's like dust and shit behind him. And he's like
scarred from the kicking up all the turf.
He's like
and all the rough New Jersey rocks.
Swerving into ditches, small ditches, gulches.
The vibration
and
of
stuff
the
like
motor, like on his kind of underside.
Yeah,
his undercarriage is getting all swollen with the heat of the internal combustion engine.
Yeah, and he's shaking inside the car, and then all of a sudden...
Well, all of a sudden, hold on. As he pulls out, he is alone. Or there's somebody on the back of the motorcycle. Somebody that we've subsequently seen with Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
And that person is, of course, Barack Obama.
Barry Obama.
Yeah.
So we don't have any corroborating evidence at the moment, but another Blue Men Group hunch... Maybe
we
Barack
don't know
Obama
where he
was riding shotgun, riding in the back.
Yeah, he doesn't have an alibi. We do know that they consider themselves renegades, according to their
that's true
surprise-winning podcast or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah. That's kind of a hint.
Yeah,
kind of like the equivalent of like a serial killer sending a letter to the newspaper. Where you call your thing renegades, and it's like renegades. I thought there was only one renegade that got that DUI. Anyway, another thing to consider, to ponder over. Another very interesting story that actually stretched through the latter half of this year. What I like to call employees going their own way. Which is a egg towel. And so this is...
Oh my God.
This is the phenomenon of people who are dedicated to their job. They don't even see it as a job. It's actually a vocation. And they may not have all the right credentials, or they may have...
They may not even have support of the state.
Yeah, they may have broken the law a few times here and there.
They may be renegades.
But they do have a zest for working.
They do. And they want
They
to
do.
work.
Yeah.
And we think that they should be allowed to work.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're
And
gonna
so-
allow anyone to drive an Uber or Lyft, why can't anyone just deliver random meat to my house?
Yeah. Why
'Cause
can't
that
somebody
was-
just pull up, knock on the door, and say, "I've got meat for sale"?
Yeah, because I love that one. That was one of my favorites. The meat delivery man who was wanted by the local news for delivering potentially unlicensed meat.
And also, of course, Dr. Malachi Love, another hardworking doctor that we
Yep.
think should just be allowed to work.
Yeah, he may only be 16 years old, but he's got the coat. He's got
the coat. He's got the clinic. He opened his own clinic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe he charges a bit too much, but
don't the clothes make the man?
Yeah, absolutely.
yes.
And the robot waiters started serving in restaurants, and we think that's a great thing.
Yeah,
And we think
were
that
supportive
robots
of it.
yeah.
robots are people too, and how can we discriminate?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was recently at a restaurant with a robot waiter. Listen, I loved the robot waiter. We hit it off amazingly. By the end of it, I baptized him. He's now part of my religion. I poured a bit of a Sprite, on his forehead, sent him into my own little thing, and I think it's great that we've got the robot waiters. Also, remember, we learned that if you just nudge them a little bit, they get off their game.
Their programmed path, yeah. We also, one of our former sponsors,
Who's that, John?
Choco Coconut Milk.
Yes. Whoops.
We
Yeah.
got in a little hot water for employing a gaggle of monkey slaves to climb up trees and pick coconuts for them.
Yeah, that wasn't good. That we
Well, I mean, who are we
Money's
to
money.
stop these monkeys? I believe that was our take, which was, what are they supposed to do? They're not allowed to earn for themselves?
Yeah, exactly. In this busy, fast-paced, demanding world, ever changing, if you're good at something, hey, you got to do it.
yeah.
Got to earn that bread.
What? Yeah. It was a little awkward that story, hit the Blue Men Group news desk at the same
The
episode
same
that
day.
they paid us to sponsor their special Choco product as it was being taken off of store shelves, but
And listen, the ink was still fresh, but we learned about it late. We got texts probably beforehand, but we had this thing. It was like, don't look at the text before we sign the.
Yeah, put your phone down. Put your phone down. We're about to start.
Yeah. So then we did
Don't ruin
that.
the surprise.
Yeah, and
Stay focused.
yeah, we've got great legal, legal team here. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was cool. Egg Tao employees going their own way. I think that's great. Little
One of
thing.
my favorite stories from the year
Yeah.
was the Whitby Times newspaper interaction we had. We had a little
Yeah.
sort of cross-pollination between journalistic platforms.
Yep.
Absolutely. Collaboration.
Ron, do you remember the issue
Yeah, I
that the
do.
Whitby Times was highlighting that we tried to step in and broker
help
a
out.
peace deal over?
Yeah, which I think we did successfully too. And what we did
You want
there,
to go ahead and go in depth there?
what we did there, John, is I found out that somebody was dumping beer cans all over this certain part of this area.
Potentially Bruce Springsteen and Barack Obama.
Yeah, Puget
Absolutely. A couple of renegades run through there.
Sound. Yeah,
Leave their beer cans all over the place.
Potentially.
Shut up.
Whoa, Mr. Obama. How did you get in the studio?
I don't know how we got here.
Sorry ass motherfucker got nothing on me, right?
What?
Okay.
So
Mr. Obama's doing jive in the
yeah,
studio.
wow.
But Ron, update us on the outcome of that
Yeah,
fundraising.
because I believe that there was a huge push from the Blue Men Group editorial staff to offer a solution to the problem that Whitby was experiencing.
Yeah, and our listeners, they're well aware because they gave money to this cause.
That's
They
right.
bled for this cause.
That's right. That's
Absolutely.
right.
So they want to know, Ron,
hard-earned
All
will
of
you
those
tell them?
hard-earned coconut tree climbing wages.
So was it a success?
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate on that?
Well, the
can was successfully delivered. Is that right?
Ron started a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
For a recycling / disposal waste can.
Right.
To save the grand splendor of the Whidbey National Forestry and Creek or whatever. And something like that. Mm-hmm. And because people were dumping their cans in the bushes, we started that Kickstarter, and we got $50.
Yeah.
$50 of our listeners' hard-earned money. Ron,
hard-earned cash. And then that money went to... Go ahead, Ron, complete the sentence. Went to...
to get the recycling can.
So, Ron, and was it delivered? Because if it wasn't delivered, I think technically we have committed fraud, and we have also admitted it on the show. So,
which may implicate us in, we'll assassinate our character on the many other trials. It will start a chain reaction of trial after trial of our character being questioned and linking cases sort of being proffered as evidence.
Yeah, that's not good.
And our dubious nature. So,
Well,
Ron seems to be, he keeps doing the hand at his throat, other hand doing the shush on his mouth gesture at me.
Yeah, I didn't think, well, it's a podcast. I didn't think people could. Yeah, so it got Walmart shipped it to the Puget Sound Island, and I wrote to the I put the address to the newspaper, and then let them know, and the newspaper never wrote back to me whether or not they got it and took it to the right place, but
then we can assume that they did.
Yeah, I'm tired of thinking about this now, so let's move on.
So another kind of sort of theme to the coverage of the past year was the Irish angle. What's going on in Ireland?
Irish.
Yeah. So this was a series of articles, or sort of, this was raw data that came across the Blue Men Group desk.
Raw Irish data.
Raw Irish data. And, a lot of news outfits will see some stories, or see some information like this, not put the pieces together.
Nope.
Blue Men Group, we pound the pavement, we ask questions, we analyze what's happening in the week in news.
We take our news helicopter over to Ireland. It's a 18-hour flight.
We had to refuel twice. And what we found out shocked and amazed us, as well as our listeners. People in Ireland have no idea what you're supposed to name a child, and everyone in their family is getting mad at them. Mm-hmm. We covered a story where a woman named her daughter Anal, with an extra A. Pronounced which is an Indian name that means fire, Anal, but could not help but feel that it was lacking foresight, as this person who wrote into the Irish Times noted that it was going to be extremely easy for Irish school children to mock this child.
Yep.
As well as a parent who named their child Audrey, a man, or boy, baby, named Audrey, thinking that it was the girl named Aubrey. Or no, the other way around.
Yeah, whatever.
Name Aubrey.
Yeah.
We figured, Ireland is sort of in this quagmire of names. Maybe because of British colonialism. Who knows?
Yeah, the Irish angle is weird.
But a quick update to Anal. What's happened to Anal since that story first broke? Well, they have grown up, and they are now getting into Irish politics. And
yes.
We couldn't be happier for them.
Yeah. And they will be receiving our full endorsement.
Yeah. Do you remember the Paper Cowboy I was so upset with?
The Paper Cowboy.
I hated that story.
David Marriott, I believe the guy's name was, who was locked up in a hotel.
Marriott Hotel?
Yeah, come on. And he made like paper mache, and then they were not even paper mache, just like from his used food containers, he made a art horse that looked too good. I didn't like how realistic it was. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna put it in a museum."
Immediately, they were like, "It's going in a museum."
I hated that.
And so it turns out that this guy, his last name is Marriott, and we think that he's a sort of inside agent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we did look up the board at Marriott, and there was someone who had his exact name.
Yeah, and they were like number 2.
Yeah.
But so what I'm thinking
That was
is
one of the
that-
rare instances of Blue Men Group actively despising a public figure and taking a stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the paper cowboy should be the Blue Men Group's piñata.
Yes.
That he should go inside the paper horse and we will beat him with sticks
Yes.
Absolutely.
until candy comes out.
Yep.
Our changing borders was another theme that we covered. Our changing borders.
What is a nation? Yeah, that was a beautiful
Yeah.
segment.
Sort of the year of Pangea, if you ask me. Shifting
Realities.
territories, people's experiences and relations to the land they live on.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, this was a French or Belgian farmer who moved a stone on his farm, but didn't realize that stone indicates an international border between France and Belgium. He extended it 6 feet, and it started a bit of a diplomatic tussle between the two European nations.
Yeah.
That is actually still escalating as we speak.
I believe when we
Yeah.
covered it, we announced the live declaration of war between the two nations. And I believe we came down on a pro-Belgian
Position.
call to action, yeah.
Don't remember why, but we'll stick to it. And that's also...
There was also the Border Town of the Week, an old segment on Blue Men Group.
Very popular segment that I'm not sure why we stopped doing that.
Fortunately, we ran out of border towns. We were doing 300, 400 an episode, so we very quickly ran through.
Yeah, so that's some diplomatic shit that went down, but we're also we'd be more than happy to broker a peace deal to help us potentially get out of some earlier legal trouble we may or may not have mentioned, but probably did infer to. Anyway, some of the other news stories. The Jetpack Man.
Let's blow through these. These are
Yeah.
some familiar stories for a quick chuckle as we fade to black here. Favorite characters, the Jetpack Man. Yes, we remember him. Flying around, we quickly identified him as a jetpack salesman.
Yes.
Yeah. There was a rash of stories going, who is this mysterious Jetpack Man?
Very easy
Is
to
this
find
a UFO? We Googled it. It took 2 seconds. We figured out who he was. We found his Instagram
Yep.
and his ties to a jetpack company.
Yeah.
Amelia Earhart, a different kind of jetpack man.
A woo-man.
A woman whose jetpack they were inside of. It was called a plane.
Yes.
Yes.
They couldn't find it.
She went missing. We looked into it. We basically solved it.
We looked very closely into the Bermuda Triangle. We almost didn't make it back, but we did
hold
have
on.
the ability to pull ourselves out.
I was going to say, that was the issue when we first started our investigation. We didn't even know where she went down. And we said the Bermuda Triangle. Had nowhere near the Bermuda Triangle where she went down.
Right.
And then we quickly solved it.
Well, you know, the big thing that broke that case was the other person in her plane who no one had ever heard of before.
Yep.
And who had
whose name
letters.
I do not remember.
I do not remember.
And that's
and his grandson found letters.
And that's history. Yeah. So
something.
another one, we always went through the super centenarians of the week. We got, I'll say it, we had super centenarian fever. And that is people who are very extremely old on the brink of
on the brink of a new life. In heaven.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we covered them with zeal, and there's more and more super centenarians all the time. And
Every day.
In fact, they don't stop. There's more every day. They never deplenish their numbers.
Yeah. Replenish. Yeah.
So they grow and
they never die.
There's no end to them.
Right.
Yeah,
we haven't heard of one dying yet. So
yeah, lobster woman.
We'll look
okay,
into
so we also had the world's most prolific stowaway, Marilyn Hartman.
Marilyn Hartman.
She was arrested.
Former stowaway of the week.
Yeah, loved Marilyn.
Another profound topic: the degrading standards of our armed forces. We cataloged a distressing pattern of the lowering of standards for things like physical fitness aptitude.
Yeah, we found
Yeah,
the Army.
and commitment.
Yeah, the Army and Coast Guard, we found out, were removing some of the more difficult, like, it was like do a somersault or something like that. They got rid of that.
They were all being challenged too intensely by the presidential fitness test.
Yeah, right.
So they sort of lowered the bar, if you will.
Right. So then
They also were unable to finish all their beer in Afghanistan before they withdrew, a story that we broke early before the withdrawal was official.
on the beer beat. Yep,
That's
that
right.
was Germany.
Follow the
Germany.
beer. Follow the beer.
Yep. Exactly. Devin's been saying that for years. So then also some stories that we were ahead of, because John just mentioned that one. Havana Syndrome.
Yes.
We
Early on
case.
in the year, we broke that story.
Brainwave.
We've actually solved it, actually, on our...
Yeah.
We were there with
episode.
patient zero. We solved immediately. It took
did
us about
solve it.
14 minutes.
Yep.
Turns out it's
and,
the sound of cicadas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoops.
I
can hear them now.
Seems fake.
Yeah.
I can hear them now. I think I have
I can
it.
also
And
hear them now. I'm also feeling a little sick.
And last but not least, on our not exhaustive list is the theme of little monsters, child geniuses who are destined to a sort of evil genius fate.
Yes.
Children that have skipped many grades, that are doing PhDs in philosophy at the age of 6 and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Future Monsters of the Week. That was a huge segment. Very overwhelming popularity. We met a young man who was making like $300,000 a day or something selling NFTs. We met children who spoke 9 different languages by the time they were 5 or something like that. We're definitely on the lookout for these types of people who will eventually be running our lives.
And hopefully for the better.
And hopefully for the better.
Since they seem to be the only people, only members of the younger generation who have any sort of plan for the future, as we have covered in many multitudes of other stories. Daughters of principals faking their homecoming elections, children dragging racist chickens to Cracker Barrel. There's not a lot of hope for the future generations, folks.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. This has been a spectacular year. I'm very happy we spent amount of dollars on these fireworks. Devin last week asked about the catering. I kind of made it a bit confusing for anyone to know what I meant by that. Now I can explain that the catering money went on some scratch-off lottery tickets, lost all of it, but before we end, we're just going to look at some overview of the numbers for the past year. Listen, I thought it would be great if we could get around 6,800 or so listens. When we started this podcast, I said, listen, if we can get 6,800 listens, all-time
in
downloads.
a year, that was the goal.
Yeah, and I would be like, that's cool. That's cool as hell.
So wait, is this a segment we're doing now?
Yeah.
Are we doing last week's numbers?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. This segment is called Last Week's Numbers.
But so anyway, yeah, the numbers, having said that goal, having let everybody know, let's check it out. What did we do this year?
This year, all-time downloads of Blue Man Group podcast was 6,842.
Wow.
Oh my, we did it.
We hit the mark right dead on.
That's incredible.
Wow, we did it.
That is so cool that we managed to get those 42 extra. It's like a little 42 extra credit points on your spelling test when you're in 3rd grade. That's great. That's huge. Thank you so much. A lot of American listeners. It's kind of concerning. Is Canada number 2? United
Well, that's
Kingdom.
also not not including all of the micronations that are not included in the roundup.
That's true.
Yeah, the people that are from micronations don't get counted, which if they were counted, the show would be a lot more popular because that's honestly our main
It's a big
audience
demographic.
base.
Yeah,
but
it's huge.
It's big, especially since we did also start our own micronation on the show. And
we did. And
it
it's
is
still
mandated that it is, and every morning the newest episode of Blue Man Group is played about 47 times.
42. But that's also who is involved with that Saudi rail deal I was mentioning earlier is our micronation. But listen, if you're in any of these countries, I want you to stand up, pat yourself on the back for listening and for being such a team sport in this Blue Man Group experience. We've got the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Austria, Australia, New Zealand, Argentina, Germany, South Africa, Latvia, France, Poland, and listen, there's others.
There's others.
Go ahead. Wait, what are the numbers down there? What was
Hold
the last
on,
one
we're
you said?
pausing. We're pausing
Poland?
to re-gear here. What did we get here? South Africa, Latvia, France, Poland, Portugal, Georgia, Slovakia, Hungary.
20 listens in Slovakia, 18 listens in Hungary, 14 listens in the Netherlands.
I
We're
thought
putting up double digits all over the globe here.
I thought we
Yeah.
would have more in Brazil, to be honest. Spain, we're not that
Well,
hot.
Bolsonaro was our number one listener, has been. It's been
Yeah.
difficult for him to keep up.
He's the only listener, yeah.
There's billions
And he's
of
been
people.
he's been stricken with many maladies over the year.
China has billions of people, and 4 have listened to our podcast. There's like
Maybe even a single listener has listened to 4 episodes.
yeah, Ireland.
We-
3. We can the Irish angle. We
That's
cover
a much higher. Yeah.
Belgium. 3 listens. We
That-
cover the Belgian border like nonstop.
Think about how many more of proportionally, how many more people of Belgium listen to the
Oh,
show as compared to
Luxembourg.
China.
We got one listen in Luxembourg. That's like 1/100th of their population.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
That's like a GDP thing. Wait, go all the way down. Was there Vatican City on this list?
Vietnam. Vietnam is there. Dominican Republic. No Vatican City.
Damn.
Unfortunately,
We didn't get God's ear.
Yeah, I'm working on that though.
But
Virgin
anyway,
Islands,
congrats.
US. Yeah.
Thank you. Congrats to us, and congrats to the listener
Aw,
for
thank you.
this past year.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you to everyone who's listening, who's still listening at the end of this rambling episode.
Yes, thank you.
Shouts out to you.
Yes, thank you so much for listening and being there. Shout out to Abby Fiscus, our co-host. Couldn't be with us this week, but we will be back next week with more Blue Men Group. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.